while, and then we'll proceed. So as you have seen from our communique throughout the advertisement, we shared our speaker profile. So I'm going to read this out to you for you to better understand who he is. And when he starts having the conversation, we would ask any questions we have. We already received some of your questions, and we will be mentioning them as time goes on so that we will better be impacted by the webinar. All right, so let me just proceed. So Jorge Appiah is a technopreneur and Africa tech policy expert with a background in electrical or electronic engineering, business administration, and renewable energy. He is the CEO and co-founder of Solar Taxi Ghana, which is championing affordable, clean transportation to facilitate free movement of Africans through the local assembling and manufacturing of electric vehicles. You can call him the next Nikola Tesla or something. All right. So he's also the co-founder and CEO of Kumasi Hive, a tech innovation hub, which through its Future Workforce for Africa initiative trains undergraduates, unemployed, and underemployed youth to acquire competent skills in emerging technologies such as IoT, virtual reality, or AR, and then biotech, blockchain, etc., for problem solution startup incubation or getting employment. All right, we are moving to the next slide, which is that George has over 10 years experience in technology development. That's a lot of years. Okay, so he's very experienced. As we always promise you, we give you the very best of our speakers. So George has over 10 years experience in technology development, innovation process management, and managing technology entrepreneurship communities. He served as consultant in various capacity in e-governance, digital skills development, and digital entrepreneurship for the government of Ghana and international development agencies. He is the co-founder and executive director for the Ghana Tech Lab and Ecosystem Hub 7 as a strategic vehicle for the acceleration of digital skills and digital entrepreneurship and jobs in Ghana. Ghana Tech Lab currently works with 36 partnered tech hubs across the country, delivering digital skills and jobs program for about 2,000 youth annually. And I must say that ViztaEdu has been a proud beneficiary of the Ghana Tech Lab initiative, and we are so grateful to you, Mr. Jorge Appiah. So finally, George is also the founder and former executive chairman of the Ghana Hubs Network, which is a network of all tech hubs in Ghana supporting the startup ecosystems. He's a member of the African Union Commission Stakeholder Engagement Group for e-commerce development in Africa. So that's our speaker here. So right now, all you have to do is, as I mentioned, this webinar is live here on Google Meet. It's also live on Twitter Space. It's live on our Telegram Space. And we just want you to be informed and encouraged. So why don't you go online and then share that the webinar is starting right now for more people to join in, because as you are well aware, this is a very rich speaker we have here, and the information he's going to give us is going to blow your mind, literally. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go online and tweet or share hashtag ViztaEdu webinars, hashtag Jorge Appiah, and then let's get rolling. All right, I hope you have done that. So all right. So, Mr. Jorge Appiah, if you can hear us, can you say hi to us? And then we'll continue with the conversation.
I can hear you, so hi.
Okay. Thank you so much. Um, I believe we are all ready and all our questions are ready. Before we have the webinar, I would love to read some of the expectations we got from our survey. I'll be projecting it very quickly, and then we'll all be on the same page in terms of what we are expecting for the webinar. I hope you can see my screen. Okay. So someone is saying to have an interactive session with a speaker. Someone wants to know how to secure investor equity funds. Another wants to learn how to secure sponsorship for a nonprofit organization. To learn the various means of securing funds. I guess that's what the person meant. Funds for my businesses. I want to learn how to get partnerships and funding to support my startups, to learn how to fund startups. So basically, it's all centering around funding and securing the right partnerships. Someone wants to, I'm expected, I'm expecting to meet the industry players with experience. Let me get this right. Okay. With experience in their field. Okay. Yeah. And then to understand how to execute an idea into a full business. So, Mr. Appiah, you really have a lot of work to do this evening, and I believe you are well prepared for us as well. So, I wish to establish the Masco farm. So, basically, that's the expectations we are having here. Most of it are to learn how to do the right thing in terms of securing partnership and funding for their startups. So, without further ado, Mr. Appiah, over to you.
All right, thank you. I hope not having my camera on might not be a big problem.
Oh, not at
um,
all.
that's okay, fine. That's great. So, I personally, I would have loved to. It's a good opportunity to be on this, and then also I would love to make this more interactive, more of taking questions to be able to respond to things. I think that would be the way that it will be more effective for most people that will join the session. The issue about raising funding and is quite broad, and I don't probably don't know where I might start that might fit very well for everyone. What I'll be sharing is more of an experience based knowledge, quite practical, from where we start from as a young entrepreneur, and then being able to work your way up to raise funding for what you seek to do, whether it's a non-profit or it's for profit. We're able to share some of the practical knowledge on. So, if you don't mind, I would like to maybe start from some of the questions that you had, and that will rather give us more specific response, and then to give a more general conversation that might not benefit everyone on that one. If that is okay, then
Oh,
let's do that. Okay, so what was the first question that you had? So maybe I
all
could
right.
start from.
So what I read were expectations,
Okay,
and
so let's start with the
okay, all right.
expectations.
Let me share the screen. Okay, all right. So to secure investor equity funds, I believe that's
Okay,
the first thing I see.
all
Yeah.
right. Sure. All right. So, like people can pose their questions as we respond to just the ones that we have over here, so that we can be able to cover everyone's expectation. So, to secure an equity fund, so there are two type of yes, let's say three, or let's say three main type of funding. We have debt, we have equity, and then we have grant. Grant is when money is given to you with no expectation of either paying it back or taking an ownership in your business. It's mostly given to you in a way of seeking an impact outcome from whatever you are doing. And normally, Well, both for profit and non-profit can get grants, but it tends to be something that is easy to get where a non-profit. Then we have debt, which a lot of us might be familiar with. It's more has to do with uh, um, taking money to pay back, either with interest or no interest at a specific time. Either you pay it back with pay the interest and pay the full amount at the end of the period, or you pay a specified amount over a period. And this is something that you get access to do a particular thing, but you need to pay it back at the end of the period or given period. So that is basically debt, and it can come with interest and not come with interest. It's not all debt that comes with interest. So that has to do with debt. And then equity, which the question is bordered on, is funds given to you to be able to get ownership in your business. And normally it tends to work very well for profit. There are some non-profit that are trying to raise equity, but it's quite difficult because non-profit is the ownership of non-profit belongs to the members. If you're in Ghana, or subscribers, as they will say it in the law. So nobody can really own that necessarily. There could be a different structure for that, maybe in terms of revenue sharing, if you already are doing incoming revenue. But mainly, equity is meant to get ownership in the business, and it works so well for profit. How to raise an equity funding? One, you need to be registered for profit. And two, you need to show that if somebody gives their money to you, they can get their money back, or you can at a point in time make dual for them to benefit from their ownership in the business. Because nobody give equity with the expectation that you don't make money, as let's say compared to a grant. So that is number two. Now you need to work your way to show that you can make your business can be profitable to return funds to shareholders. So the person give you funding tends to become a shareholder. They get shares of your company. And then with that, at the end of the year, if you do your dividends, if you do your accounting or annual reporting, and then you declare dividends, the person get paid according to how much that they own it. So these are the things that the key foundation that you need to have. You need to have these things and being able to prove. You need to also show that you have a viable business. That's a business that can make money. That's something that you should be able to show either now, or present, or in the future. So that is something that you need to show on that one. We need to have good corporate governance. That means that there needs to be clarity between the board, the management, and then yeah, the other stuff. But this needs to be clear on that, because then the person giving the money knows that if anything happened, there's the structure that has to deal with it, and his money is not going to go into someone's pocket. Um, good, good corporate governance means also the registration that I've spoken about. You need to be fully registered as a business. A limited liability, make it easy for investors, knowing that the business is not it's not limited to a particular person, and then the business can operate as an individual on its own. So the money that is given to you is not going to go to your pocket. So this is something that you also need to have in place. So all comes together for the corporate governance that you need to have in place for you to be able to raise that. Now, if you have this in place, then you basically have to develop documents that allows you to present what you need. So literally, we call this a pitch deck. You do a pitch deck, you tell your story about your business, you're able to show your value proposition, what makes you different in the market, which your business model, your revenue model. Like I said, equity is about showing that you can make money. So you need to show that in your presentation, and then show your financial projections. What do you need the money for? So these are some of basic things that you need to have in your presentation. Have a financial analysis to show maybe in a period of 3 years, 5 years, where your company will be, and then being able to show on the financials that you'll be in a good position to make returns to the investors. Most early stage investors look are looking at cashing out big, so probably they want about 3 times their investment before they exit your company. So in your financials, you're able to show that in 3 years' time, I can make you enough profit that if you want to exit, or if you have to be acquired by a company, or we have to be listed and we go public, you can make back that money that you put in us on. So this is going to be critical in terms of financials, financial projection. There are templates for this. Go to YouTube, you can get to know how to do something for your business. So the pitch deck, your financial projection is very key. You need to keep records of your traction, terms your numbers, how many units have you have, how many clients have you have, how many people are using your platform. You should be able to show to investors, for investors to be confident that indeed you have the what it takes. Now, if they like this, they will do a due diligence to get some legal work throughout on. At this stage, you might need a little bit of support from a legal person to help you to review the documents and everything on. And then if everything goes through, you sign a term sheet which specify how much they want to be investing in and for what shares. And yeah, I need to talk about the shares. You are going to give shares, as we said earlier on, and you need to be determined how much shares will you give it for your company. There are different ways of calculating it. Some people at early stage, some people look at your revenue. That's why it's very important that you need to have revenue before you go for equity, and then use your revenue to do a projection to determine how much money they are putting in, how much your company worth, and that means how much shares they need to have in your company. Yeah, so if that could be agreed on, to be in the term sheet, you sign that, and then you work proceed to working on making or meeting all the terms that are specified. So that changing the name and changing the shareholding of the company, naming them as part of the board, yeah, submitting a couple of documents and stuff. Then the deal is closed. Then you have your money in your pocket for you to use for your business. So it's a long story about equity investment. I think I probably might have done provide some good response regarding that. So we can move on to the next one if that is fine.
All right. Yes, of course. Please, if you have any questions, this is just a quick reminder. You can just put it in the chat session and it will be attended to. All right. So the next expectation is to learn the various means of securing funds for my businesses. I believe you touched on that, right,
Good.
George? Yeah. So the next one is to learn the various. Okay, that's the same. I want to learn how to get partnerships and funding to support my startups. To learn how to
Okay.
fund for a setup business. Okay, I guess the two are saying the same thing. They both want to learn how to get partnership. So how do you do that?
So I think I provided part of the response in. Depending on the type of
Yeah.
fund you are looking for. If you are non-profit, the best that is suit for you is grant, or providing service for you to earn something from that on. But grant tends to be the first thing that you need to go for. For all of them, either debt, equity, or grant, you need to be able to show a structured company for you to be able to attract the kind of investment that you might want to seek on. A structured company might be a registered company. You'll be able to show what you are doing, what you have done. Most people look for funding without showing what they can do. And most of the times, that can be an Achilles heel in the process. So you need to be able to have traction, keep record of everything that you are doing, count your numbers, and then present that. Even for grant, people would like to know how credible you are. Don't start by putting a lot of proposal here and there and hoping for one of them to go through. Start by having a traction, keep your record, and then yeah, present it literally, and that is basically the attraction that you are building from that on. So yeah, you need to keep track. So it could be like this webinar. You keep record of your numbers, how many people are joining, how many people are you reaching on social media. You track everything for each call. You have the numbers for it, giving your total reach. And then so when you're making a presentation to an investor, they kind of see what you have done. And then based on that, they feel confident to know that if I give you this, based on what you have done, I'm projecting that you can go to this. So these are fundamental. So I think I've responded part of it earlier on, but just to add on this one.
Great. Okay. Um, this very question is this very expectation is saying to understand how to execute an idea into a full business or how to actualize a solution to a problem as an entrepreneur. So I believe the person wants to find out how. So I guess this can be a very perfect example for you to share your story of how you got your idea into an actual full business. That's what the person wants to know.
Oh, well, definitely you need to start. Like I said, we all start something, and the first thing that comes to mind is to look for funding. But it doesn't always work that way. It works by first of all, you need to get traction. So you need to start. Don't sweat yourself out by a lot of things like I need to have a registered company from day one. You don't need to have a registered company from day one. You need to have activities, things being done from day one. That is what you need to have. And if you have that, you build a traction, it will lead you to get the investment that you need on. So the first thing is execution is about doing. Execution is not too much thinking and worrying. It's about doing. All you need to know is know your first step. Don't worry about your next two step, three step, four step. If you know that, that's great. If you don't worry. Just take a step today. So your step today is, oh, I want to start a business. The first step is get a name. It doesn't take money for you to get a name, but get a name first. Second thing, write something about your business. What do you do? You don't, I'm not asking you to go and write a business plan. I think that is a bit archaic now, a little bit. But just write what you're doing. Go to social media. It doesn't cost you anything. Set up your social media pages, your Twitter page, what's called Facebook page, Instagram page. You know, design your logo. Go online and just use Canvas or any of this free online platform. Just put something together, get a simple logo. That's what we did actually. The initial stage, we design our own logo. It's terrible. It's so terrible that if I see it now, I vomit. But that time it was good enough to get us going. And this thing doesn't cost you anything. And then you have a company, all right? You have a company without spending any money. Then start talking to people about your business or start doing something. So, is your business is about selling? Let's say what? I'm just trying to find example. Coconut. Go and get coconut and sell. Get one coconut and sell. Get two coconuts and sell. Right? It's all about starting something. That is how you execute an idea. Don't worry about tomorrow or don't worry about your next five steps. Don't worry about that. Just do for today. All that matters is what you do today. That is the first step. Surprisingly, the next steps will always come to you. The steps will keep on coming to you. Right? But don't sit down to figure everything out before you make a jump. No, you have the basis, you start. So whatever the idea is, you have to start. It's all about starting. Starting a business, running a business is about doing, right? And every day you need to do something that add an incremental value to your business. It could be just reaching out to a customer. So you need to ask yourself if you're into a business where you have to sell something or get client, every single day, the most important thing is that you have reached a customer or you have follow up on a customer. Forget about whether you sold something today or you didn't sell anything today. No, that is not it. If you reach out a customer today, it's a huge business progress. All right. So that is the core. So it's all about doing. Don't worry about the next steps, just do. So that's what I can say about that.
Wow, just that. Okay, so whoever had that expectation, I believe the expectation has been met. Um, what I see here is partnership requirements and legal backings. What are some of the requirements you need for a partnership and legal backings?
I don't know partnership as a company or partnership as an activity, but if it is partnership as an activity, definitely for most partnership you have an MOU or an MOA. More you see more of an MOU than MOA. Either binding or legally non-binding. It depends on what the engagement is. You should be able to read the baselines and understand it. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you would have to learn. You are going to learn. For you to draft your basic MOU, you go online, search for specifically what you want. You get a template, and then you read through it. You try to understand it. Then you adapt it to fit the purpose. Um, that is how you go about it. It tends to be a bit straightforward, but as an entrepreneur, you're going to learn. You're going to always be learning. Google, YouTube is one of your greatest friend. You have to learn by yourself. You can't just have it there, like if someone just getting taken to a lawyer to do it. It's good, but as a young entrepreneur, you don't have the money. But that will force you for you to learn, for you to draft basic agreements that allow you to have good partnership. And it is don't take anything for granted. Partnership is something like any other relationship. It always starts sweet, but it can end up bad. And then the only thing that can save you is you have an agreement that helps to save the relationship. Otherwise, things can turn very bad because there's no agreement and everybody is trying so hard to be right in such a partnership. So I will advise that try as much as possible to have an agreement. If for nothing, have an email sent and they say that, hey, this is what we have agreed to do. This is what you do. This is what I would do. An email can always serve as a point of reference, but the baseline is MOU tends to help with partnership. If it's about partnership as an entity, it's not something that I really advise entrepreneurs to go in. Just register your business as a limited liability and then enter into activity or project partnership. Instead of partnership as a business is quite tricky. It's not something that I really advise. I don't mean I don't partner to start a business. What I meant is don't register partnership as a business. That is what I would advise on.
Awesome. I believe you are learning a lot. If you are learning, kindly go online and then kindly put it up. We are live on Telegram. We have a channel called ViztaEdu channel, ViztaEdu webinar channel. Search for it and then look it up, post about it. We are live on Twitter Spaces. We are live on Google Meet here right now and also on LinkedIn. So you have so many options. So if you are learning something, go online and then put it out there for more people to join. All right. So if you also have questions, as we have put here, just post it in the chat box and then we'll attend to it. After he is done presenting, if you want to speak also, there'll be a platform for you to speak. So don't worry, we are here for you. All right. So moving on to the next person, said guidance and management tool to help start up a company or business. What are some of the management tools you need to start up?
Sorry, I think the line went a little bit down. Can you repeat that part again?
All right. So someone expects to understand the guidance and management tools to help start up a company or business. I believe they just want to know some of the tools that you need as a startup or as a company or business.
Uh, well, definitely you need to choose a name, your baseline branding, your social media setup. I mean, you can't be a startup nowadays without social media present. And that is something critical. Those things doesn't cost anything much. You need to test your business. Have a way of testing your business, no matter what. You need to test your business, get the feedback, and see whether it's a good business that you are pursuing. Now, if you are able to sell one or two things, unless you are non-profit, if you're non-profit, go out there and organize an activity. Most activity doesn't require much. So you're a non-profit and you're into education, you want to organize, let's say, counseling for students. You don't need money to test that. Go out there, organize something, use your smartphone, let one of the students take pictures of you talking to them at the end. take the smartphone, record somebody giving a testimony that, oh, the counseling program has been great, I've learned so much and all that. Put that on your social media page. You're in business as a non-profit. It's you're for profit. Yeah, sell something. You need to sell something. So if you are selling mango, mango is what your startup want to sell. Go out there, go to your area. There's probably a mango tree out there. Ask the owner, pluck some mangoes. Go stand by the street and sell to somebody, or take it to wherever you think your target market is, and sell something. Sell something. And if you can sell something and people want to buy that, you don't want people to say, "Oh, I did already, you. This thing is very good. I want one." No, sell something. Let's okay, you want one, buy it now or something. If you can make a sale, it means that you have a business, and from that you can proceed on to go and register the business. So you go to the RDG portal. I think they have now it is the name has changed a little bit. Um, I don't have it off head, but you go there and go and register the business. You can do it online. Should take about 1 week. Have your documents. Um, yeah, then you're good to go. Literally. Right. So these are the simple baseline steps I can mention around this. But yeah, this is how you can go about it in terms of templates and stuff like that. If you're starting a business with somebody, most of the time we have a co-founder, and ensure that as a matter of urgency or as a matter of importance, get a co-founder agreement and then sign that. Remember that most of the time we start business with people that we like or people that we love. Relationship tends to be something that we build a relationship a business on. So you need to safeguard and protect that relationship so that if things go bad, things will definitely go bad. Disagreement and stuff are bound to come. There's not a single relationship that we don't have that. But when that happens, your co-founder agreement saves the relationship because the terms are so clear in that. Listen, if you leave the business at this time, you get this, so you don't get that, stuff like this. This is the time that all of us have agreed to commit to it. We don't want a business that one person, one per job is doing everything. And then if the others are just trying to do something on their own, not contribute too much. But when the business does well, they come there, hey, I own 40% of the business. Make things very, very difficult for you. So that's why you need such an agreement in the early days. That specify time commitment, vesting of ownership and all that. So that's one thing that I can mention in the mix when you are starting that way.
Right. Um, I believe that's about it. If you want to ask a question, the floor is open for you. You can just unmute and then ask. I've also seen some questions in the chat session, so I'm going to read that. When you're ready, you can just unmute and then alert me. But then someone is asking, how do I get funding for my startup? Okay, I believe this person wants a direct link or a direct source. So, Mr. George Appiah.
Well, I mean, so this is what we did. I mean, this is basically when we started. We do. I mean, depending what type of your business is, we have talked about this in early day in the beginning of the course. So if you missed that, you can get a video. I think they are going to post that so you can watch the beginning. But one way that we started looking for funding was through applying for grants. So there are a number of websites then, opportunities for Africans and all that, NGO, grant for NGOs. The number of sites, they post a number of amazing funding opportunity. We apply for everything. We spend day and night applying. We get a lot of no's in the beginning. You apply for about 50, you get 1 year. It's exciting actually. The no's are difficult to take, but it help you to able to shape your business idea and all that. It's a very hard way of raising funding, but it's worth it because it helps you to really analyze your business to see whether you're on the right track. But remember what I said, that you need traction. It is easy to get funding when you have traction, whether it's grant or equity or debt. If you don't have traction, on your share, nobody will give you anything. So It's difficult. It's difficult selling ideas, but it's easy selling impact. It's easy selling output. It's easy selling performance. Something that you have done. You're not yet telling the person, I will do this with your money. You're telling you, I've done this already on my own with low resources. This is how much I've achieved. Now I'm saying, give me this and I can increase it to that. That is the kind of thing that people want to hear. All right. That track record on. So that is very important. But applying for some of these funds from the website really help. And then trying to seek partnerships with organizations that are in that field. It's a very tough thing to do, but it's also worth it. You're able to get some partnerships, actively seeking partnership on. And once again, all these people will be interested to see what you have done. So they'll go to your social media page, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if you have stuff there, YouTube, people telling your story. If you have great stuff there, it is easy to sell whatever thing you're doing to raise the funding that you're looking for. For those that are trying to raise equity, there's a number of equity investors now. LinkedIn is an amazing page to go and look for equity investors. You just type VC or early stage investors in LinkedIn. You get a number of organizations that are into that. Say hi to somebody, reach out, say, hey, this is my business, this is our page deck, this is our website. Do you want to have a conversation? Yeah, you're available to talk. You do for about 100, you might get two people saying yes to you, which is a very extremely big win. All right. And then you get feedback from them. Anyway, oh, okay, yeah. So do this about the business, do this. Maybe I can invest this time. So next stage, that the next time you're doing an investing, I can join it and stuff like that. All right. But you get great feedback. And then if you do continue to do that, you definitely get somebody to believe in you to catch your first check to you. But once again, you need to have the traction. That will make it easy for people to make decision about your business. But LinkedIn is an amazing place to find a lot of VCs, the early stage VCs, seed stage VCs, that will be willing to give you some money for your business.
Great. So put yourself out there and then you can apply for grants as well. So, Isaac Bauer in Giza, I hope your question has been answered. If it has, you can just put it in the chat. If not, you can just unmute and then speak to us. All right. So Barbara Addo is asking, are there any opportunities startups can leverage with regards to funding? Who are the right people startups can speak to? I believe that has been addressed. He mentioned you to speak to grants and also um, talk to people, go on LinkedIn, ask people, show yourself out there, and then I believe one way or the other you are going to get the right funding. Unless Mr. George Appiah, you would like to add something to that.
I think yeah, you have done justice to the question.
Okay. Ducklings Design is asking, please can a startup registered as sole proprietorship business set a board which can serve as governance committee to be accountable to?
Well, that startup is not looking for other people's money. If you're looking for other people's money, that is not the way to go. But if you want other people's money, then you need to set up as a limited liability. It's not up for debate. The only time that someone can give you money is that they know that the money they are giving to you, it can be protected by law. And then the only way to achieve that is that your business is set up as a limited liability. That means that the business is an entity or a person recognized by law. And if you give money to the business, it's not giving money to you to go and use to go and get married, uh, or take your girlfriend for a date, or you're going to pay someone's school fees, but to give the money to you to use for the business. That's the only way to ensure investors' confidence. So, surpreneurship, you can do that, but you shouldn't be looking for people's money because nobody will give you money with that. It's a very difficult thing. Maybe family might give you money or somebody that don't really understand the space of investing, but it's very difficult thing, and you can't do much. You can only grow your business as much as you have two main resources: people's time and people's money. You can get people's time with sole proprietorship, but you can never get people's money with that. So that's what I would say.
All right. Ducklings Design, if you have any comments, you can just put it up or you can unmute to say whether your question has been answered.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Okay. So basically my question is like for a startup years for I understand Sir George what he was saying about like if you want people's money you should go for a limited liability. Thank you so much for that. But for a startup who is starting that for the cost of running a limited liability and then they wanted to start small by being so by registering as a sole proprietorship then but they will put a document in place that like in the next 1 or 2 years we'll go for a limited liability but actually they don't want to be just for themselves but I'm asking whether they can set a board member even though by law it's not required but they can set a board member that they will the startup register as a sole proprietorship will be accountable to so that those people will serve like an advice like a mentorship board that they'll be looking to they'll be checking their books for them as they grow to become the limited liability.
Well, I mean, definitely this is something that they can do. I mean, there's no limit to what someone want to do. But you don't grow seed and expect an apple at the end. You don't say, okay, I'm going to grow orange and then at a point I'll turn it to mangoes. So when you're starting out the business, you need to be very clear where you want to go, and that's the seed that you sow. I know that we can be sometimes very difficult in terms of regulation, but that is basically what you need to learn at that stage. Now, a startup is a journey that is a very tough journey, and you want to learn as quick as possible whether it's going to work and not whether it's not going to whether it will work or not going to work on. In our region, you have startups that do about 5 years before they even raise money and all that. It's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either. In most places, a startup in a year, you should be able to know whether you are good to raise money. And for you to aim at raising money in a year, you can go and set up a what's called sub or something. No, all right. So yeah, there's the two things I can say that if you were expecting mango fruits, you sow mango seed from beginning. And you don't want to spend so much. You want to spend 2 years before no. 2 years is a longer time. Right? It's still no. You can't do it. You need to set up right from day one, and then learn the hard way in terms of the governance. Learn the hard ways in terms of the regulation. Right? Nobody will come and chase you. GRE will not come and chase you. Come and pay your tax from day one. No, they don't even know that you exist. All right. So you put in a registration and everything. If you go, you have not filed some tax, they'll teach you. You learn from it. It's a hard way to learn, but it is a better way to learn from that on. That will make you in a better place. So that if somebody chance on you tomorrow that hey, I love what you guys are doing. I want to give you guys $500,000. Are you not going to register the business? No, the person, if you're not registered, the person might not even be interested to go forward with it. So for me, that's what I'll say. But aside that, um, they are also welcome to do what they think is best for their business at this stage. I think that is also very much allowed.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think I understand you. Thank you.
Great. Great. If you have any other question, you can put it in the chat or you can just unmute and then start speaking. Or you can raise your hand. I've seen that feature here too. All right. Ibrahim is okay. Ebenezer Datsi, you have raised the hand. You can unmute and proceed.
Oh, oh, okay, please. Thank you very much. Okay, I know the judge has already spoken about how to get partnership, but I want specifically if I want to partner with another NGO organization, like I mean activity partnership, how do I go about it? Do I write a letter straight away to them? And who should I address the letter to? Yeah, something like that.
Uh, so how do I put it for you? It's good to try that channel of writing letters and taking to organizations and all that. Um, it's better if you have things that you have done to support it. Remember that those organizations are looking for things that are of value to them. Right. So you need to come with something in your hands that, hey, this is what we are doing, this is what I've done, this is what I can do for you. So it's good to try that on. But for me, I come from more of the school of thoughts where you need to do the hard work, put in the work, and then become easy for you to sell to anybody. Sometimes they will even come and find you because of the work they are doing. You're using your social media, you're putting your voice out there. You have about, let's say, 100 CDs or something you used to boost your work that you have done on Facebook or Instagram so that you can get more people audience and all that. Someone will reach to you for partnership. They'll be reaching out to you for partnership. But there's nothing prevent you from also adding writing proposals and also sending to an organization. But most importantly, you need to be able to sell value to them that, hey, um, um, maybe Peter Paul's foundation. Um, um, this is what I can do for you. I know that you guys are by education, you guys want to empower women. This is what we are doing, this is what we have achieved, and this is what I can help you. I can help you guys to reach to 2,000 ladies to train. That is what they want to hear in terms of value. So either way, it come back to your to the work you have done and then the value on. But there's nothing wrong with preparing proposal and all that. On it's not a first option for me personally, but it could work also for a number of cases. When you go there, try to get it to somebody that make a decision. Somebody who is in the position to make. So if you go and then the security man say, bring your letter, I'll give it to the CEO, please don't do that. Tell you that you wait for the CEO to come back another time. All right. Or the admin say that, oh, give it to me, I'll give it to the CEO. Most of the times it might not even reach the CEO or the person that makes the decision in the company. So try your best to get whatever proposal that you have to somebody that can make a decision about whatever you are taking to them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Any other questions? Mind you, this is a very great opportunity for you to ask all the questions you have on partnerships and funding right from Mr. Appiah. So this is the time for you.
Hello, Akune.
Yes, Mr. Ibrahim.
Yes, so first of all, I would like to shoot shout outs to George for the opportunity and all of you for joining. I would like to touch on the registration bit. And Aquila, you guys will attest to the fact this year we started a conversation with our friends in the UK when they promised to give in 5,000 euros to ViztaEdu to support with a little interest equity. So you guys weren't registered by then, remember? And that has halted our conversation with them. So registration is actually very, very important. And I would like to emphasize on what George just said. He registered as a limited liability, not sole proprietorship. Because we've seen the example this year. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Abraham, for supporting that.
Yes, Mr. Ibrahim. That was a very raw situation. We weren't registered, and he was ready with the investment. So we had to wait and then get all the full documentation. We registered last month, and so the procedures are now continuing. So it's very important for you to register your business, your idea, and then you put your work out there, as Mr. Appiah has rightly put it. I saw a hand here. The person has put it down again. So if you were you can just, okay, Duckling Design has another observation to note. You may proceed, please.
Okay, so I wanted to ask this. Let's say you are a startup, and then maybe you made a presentation somewhere, and then somebody find interest in your business. So the person called you and approached you like, okay, I like your business idea. I like everything that you are doing, but I have a machines and then an office space this way that I think it could help your business. So uh would you move from like your small place that you are working and come and use my machines so that you use it to operate? Like in situation like that, how will you go about it? I don't know whether I best explain myself.
Well, you did your best on that. Anyway, I think it's simple. It's come back to what we're talking about partnership. Always have an agreement. There's nothing as free lunch. And don't think that because you are cool with the person today, you'll be cool forever. Even the best friends always fight. Family, which is very close to us, we always fight. Every relationship is not meant to be without challenges, unless it's a fake relationship. So knowing that getting to such a relationship, a time will come where there's going to be challenges. So from day one, you will need to be able to have an agreement with that. Okay, you want to give me this space. No matter how much will you rent this space to somebody? So oh, I'll rent it at 2,000. Okay, great. You know what? You like me. You like me very much. So can't you give me a discount of about 50% and take it as 1,000? So yeah, 1,000. Okay, great. So I'm going to record 1,000 here. That's what you are charging me every month. And then based on that, at a point in time or at this or 1,000, I'll count your 1,000 as an investment in the company, and I'll give you the shares accordingly. All right. Don't expect free stuff from
Okay.
anybody, and never expect that. In fact, free stuff are very, very expensive. The most expensive thing is free. Somebody working for you for free, somebody doing anything for you for free. It's extremely, extremely, extremely expensive. So cost it, give the person a receipt, because also you need that for other investors that will come into play, to know that what is your cost of running your business. You need to show them that, hey, listen, I have a cost, I get a discount for it 100%, I don't pay any money to the person, but this is the cost, these are the receipts for it. That shows that it costs me this amount of money to run a business at this stage on. But for the person, you need to have an agreement. Don't take it for free. If it's machine, cost it. You know what? I'll pay you every month. I'll pay you 5,000 for it. I won't give you cash. At a point, I'll turn this thing to equity for you, or I'm going to give you 1% equity, 2% equity at the end of the 2 years of using your space. If we end the agreement before that, I will do the calculation. Or if we end the agreement maybe in the first 1 year, I'm going to give you 1%. If we end the agreement before then, second year anniversary, after 1 year anniversary, I'm going to give 1.5%. If we end it after 2 years, I give you the full 2% in my company. All right. Never take anything for free. And this is an agreement. It specifies if there's a challenge, what you guys will do. All right. If you stop the business, he has now invested in his space to your business. If for some reason you had a chance, you stick a green card, green lottery, or whatever they call it nowadays, and then you have been selected by US to go and live in US, so you're abandoning the business. The person is at loss, right? Because he has given space for you to use for free, and now you are going to do whatever you want to do, and he has loses money. So the agreement needs to specify that if you also stop the business, you pay him something for the business or something. But it needs to be fair, and that's the reason why you don't expect free stuff. Neither should you be thinking of cheating somebody. All right. Not that the person have asked for it doesn't mean that you shouldn't think about that. What am I also going to give to the person? And how do I also commit myself in the relationship that I am not also going to abandon the value that I want to create for this guy that has believed in me? Because if you do that, the guy might not believe in any other startup again. if you don't do the person right also. But most importantly, it's about you. Make sure that everything is specified in the agreement. If there's challenge, if there's a disagreement, this is what we'll do. Everything is specified in the agreement from day one. Not because you are very cool now doesn't mean that you'll be cool forever. In fact, it doesn't happen that way. So that's what I would say.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So this is so knowledgeable. I've never thought from that perspective. Thank you, Sir George.
All right, we'll take the last two questions and then we'll call it a night. So if you have a question, you may want to raise your hand or unmute and then continue the conversation. Are we all okay on this topic? All right, if you have any suggestions or you want to add on to the knowledge that has been shared, the floor is open for you also to share with us. All right, I got a question here. What are some of the skill sets to build as an entrepreneur? Mr. Appiah, what are some of the skills you need as an entrepreneur?
Um, need to be extremely resilient, very determined. You are going to hear a lot of no, a lot of disappointment. You need to have a good heart. You need to know why you are doing this, because if you don't have a good heart, when the bad days come, you give up. But you need to be very, very resilient, extremely determined. You should be able to push as far as you can push it. And then don't forget being very religious. It helps because your dark days, you need somebody that you can depend on. And most of the times, um, that will come in handy, depending on the God that you serve. But you need to be very. I can't stop saying you need to be very resilient. So like it's extreme important core skills that you need to have. You need to be able to study, learning every single day. Like I read widely, I read extremely widely, I read every single thing, and that helps me a lot. I My social media is about reading. So I'm reading articles, I'm following a lot of business insiders and all those articles out there where there are news, is a Harvard business, um, giving you a lot of knowledge about what you need to do. Because that's what I spend my social media doing, is reading and reading and reading and reading. So you should be able to read, get to know what is going on. I watch a lot of YouTube myself. But it's all about learning. Commit yourself. There's not a single day that I don't watch something new, or learn something new. I spend about 4 hours, 3 hours, to learn something every single day. And I've been doing that for years. So learning is being able to learn is going to be a skill that you will need. You need to know accounting. You can't take it for granted. So learn accounting. They are baseline accounting. You need to know what's an asset. You need to know what's a liability. These are simple stuff. It doesn't take much. So please go online, learn accounting. You need to learn some basic thing like how to read simple documents or legal documents, simple ones. So just practice yourself with reading MOUs and agreements online, and then you can get yourself a bit acquainted with that one. Which one again? You should be able to tell a very good story. A good story is going to be very key in terms of what are you doing. You should be able to let people and basically love what you are doing. And by telling a good story, you can't be see starting a business cannot be sometimes it cannot be difficult, right? But for it to run it as a startup is a different thing. I mean, if you go to the market, we have people that sell tomatoes. They don't tell you a story. It's, oh, tomatoes, oh, it's 2 cities, 3 cities. But for it to be a startup, we need to tell a story about what you're doing. Beginning, Abena talk about what her startup is doing. It's a very nice crafted story. All right. So storytelling is going to be very key for you. So you don't say, oh, I sell tomatoes. No. So that you start by telling that you're helping to end hunger. Your startup is about solving access to tomatoes. Most Ghanaians, no, that kind of story, right? Being able to craft your story from why are you doing it? Why are you doing this? It's very, very key. So storytelling is something that you are going to learn as a young entrepreneur, as a business, young startup person. You need to learn how to tell a very good story with that on. And lastly, you need to learn how to write, writing proposals and writing a document to present. Is very, 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 very key. You need to learn it. People don't know how to write emails. You need to learn that. There are a lot of videos online that you can learn how to write very good emails, write very good proposals. I'm always learning. I'm always learning that direction actually. But you need to learn how to write a good document because sometimes people might not even seen you. How do you do a pitch deck? You need to learn all these things. Those are some things that add-ons that you need to have. But yeah. Hey, lastly, I can't forget this one. Well, the last two, people management. You need to learn how to manage people. You are going to work with people. There's no way you cannot work with people. Some of us we are a bit introverts, but we have to learn how to work with people. People are going to be very core to the success of your business. So learning people skills is so negotiable. If you don't learn people skills, no matter how talented you are, you can't go far. And I'm speaking from this from experience. Learn to manage people. They will be the one to carry you far. So people skills is extremely important, especially as you go higher in your journey. At the state that I am, I spend most of my time managing people than actually doing anything else. And all the big CEOs in the world, all they do is manage people largely with some strategies, yes, also. But people management is number one. And then communication, effective communication. You need to learn how to communicate appropriately. You cannot be a very successful entrepreneur if you don't know how to communicate. Communication is key. Help you to sell your idea, help to sell your product, it helps you to get your team on the same lane, right? It helps you to get your way through stuff. It's extremely important. Communication is non-negotiable. So this is something that you need to work on as a startup. Yeah. So this is the few things I can say for now.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. I believe this has been an insightful conversation. We have learned a lot. We have learned a lot about how we can get the partnerships and funding. We have to put our work out there. We have to learn to be resilient because we receive a lot of no's. We have to read wide, learn accounting, how to read legal documents, basically be informed and be educated on everything concerning what you do, and also people management and effective communication. If you have learned a lot, I want you to go online and then post about it. I hope I'm not asking a lot from you. Just post about it. And also go to ViztaEdu.com and sign up on our wait list. Also, we will be posting these webinars on our Facebook and website. So, and YouTube, yeah. So as you can see, this our website. So go on there and then join our wait list. All right. And we'll be having this conversation. We'll have a next conversation next month. And it's going to be more of branding and marketing. You don't want to miss next month's webinar. So this is where we part ways, and I want you to Just be informed, stay updated, and keep joining our webinars. Thank you so much, Jorge Appiah. I know it's around 12 a.m. at your end. We really appreciate your time and your patience. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening, everyone.